Hi sewing friends, welcome to my sewing room. My name's Beth. If you're new, welcome. Today I am making a new quilt block and I figured out how to make multiple hourglass blocks or half square triangle blocks just using 2 squares and 2 seams. So I'm going to show you how I did that. Let's get started. To begin with, I wanted to show you how nicely my new block goes along with the pot holder I made a couple of weeks ago. I just might turn my new block into a pot holder, or I will make more and make a quilt. I think it's a beautiful block and it's really easy to put together. For the block, I'm using some 2.5-inch squares, green and red. I need 4 of each. I also need some strips. Mine are 1.5 inches by 4.5 inches. I need a square that's 1.5 inches, and I'll be making my hourglass blocks using these 2 squares here. My green and white squares are 6.5 inches, and with these 2 squares I'll be able to get 8 hourglass blocks. And the first thing I'm going to do is draw a pencil line from corner to corner going both directions. Now I'm going to put a seam on both sides of the pencil line, so I will need to sew 4 seams on my big square here. Okay, now that I have my seams put in my square here, I am going to cut right along the pencil line, and I don't want to move my square if possible. It just made it a little easier to put my other cuts through this. So I went along the pencil line, and now I'm going to cut my square in half on both sides here. At this point, I have 8 half-square triangles, and if I wanted to use half-square triangles in the future, I'm going to try to remember this trick. My half-square triangles are about 3 inches. I want to use them, though, to make my hourglass blocks, and with these 8 half-square triangles, I should be able to get 8 hourglass blocks. Now that I have my half-square triangles pressed towards the darker fabric, I'm going to make my hourglass blocks. I'll put 2 of these together going opposite directions, and then I will draw a pencil line going through the middle again. And as you can see, one of these half square triangles is slightly smaller than the other, and that's okay because I will be trimming all of my hourglass blocks to 2.5 inches. Here's my hourglass block, and I'll be making 8 of these for my beautiful quilt block called Snowflake. All of my hourglass little squares are ready. They're all 2.5 inches, and now I can put my block together. I put 4 squares together, including that hourglass block. I have my big block laid out, and I will put the 4 sort of quadrants together before I join everything with my strips and center square. This is a beautiful block. I will have to decide if I'm going to be making more for a Christmas quilt or making some pot holders like I did a couple of weeks ago. Either way, I don't think I'll be able to go wrong. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.